Hi everyone, and welcome to English 333, or Advanced Composition for Future Teachers. You are enrolled in the fully online class, so you are watching this video and you will be doing your work entirely through the internet. And I will try to send videos throughout the semester to keep you updated on what we're doing and what's happening in the class. Just a little bit of information: if you happen to be local and you wanted to come by to my classroom, I teach the same course in a hybrid form, so half face-to-face and half through the internet, and that's on Mondays from 4 to 5:15, and I also teach one on Tuesdays from 3:30 to 45. If you're interested in coming by and getting more information, or if you're struggling with the class, that's another opportunity for you to swing by to that classroom and get information from me there. I also wanted to talk a little bit about office hours. I'm going to have office hours directly after that class from 5:15 to 6 p.m. And then I'm pretty much here all day on Tuesday from 11 to 2 in my office, and then from 4:45 to 6 p.m. My office is in the Arts and Humanities building in room 241, and I prefer for you to email me for my contact through kcandelaria@csuchico.edu. So that's just a little housekeeping and some things like that to kind of let you be able to contact me and know that you could come and visit some work. Come and get some information about your work and visit me face-to-face in those places. So great, that kind of takes that little housekeeping stuff out of the way. The next thing I wanted to kind of talk about for a minute or two are the assignments in the course and navigating the course. Online classes can be tricky, of course, because you've got to do everything on your own. So most of you are fabulous at this and you'll do great. Some of you, if you're struggling, just make sure that you are communicating with me. That's the best way for us to get over any hurdles that we're having. There are a couple things that you probably should do right away. I would probably print up the syllabus and take a look at that. Also within the syllabus, if you go about halfway through, there's a section of the syllabus that says determining your course grade, and it has all the assignments, all the due dates of the course. We'll talk about that a little bit. And you should probably look at the website pretty quickly. So there's two ways I handle the class. I have a Wix website, and that's for me to get information to you. And then I also have Blackboard, and Blackboard is for you to get work to me. So you're going to have to work with them a little bit in tandem. So you should go ahead and log on to the website, and we'll log on to Blackboard first. There's a link on the main page to our website, and start looking around and reading the material. Of course, reading the syllabus, looking at the assignment sequence, and then of course looking also at the website for information. The other thing, I'm looking down because I printed one up, there's also a course calendar. I've printed this off of the website on Wix, and this kind of gives you a breakdown of what's happening per week. I think that's kind of helpful. You'll also see the weekly breakdown in the syllabus. There's a column that says what week we're doing what, and that can be really helpful too. Most of the material that you'll need for the course, it's going to be linked on this sheet that's the course calendar on the Wix website, and it'll be clicking on the picture next to the thing, and that will give you the material. I've really tried to keep the materials inexpensive for my online classes. There's only one book I'm asking you to get, and of course if you want to do an Audible or you want to get a used one, it's The Partials by Dan Wells, and that's the only thing I'm asking you to buy. Everything else is fully available for you online. Hopefully that will be helpful. So that gives you a little bit of help for navigating the course. I want to talk about the assignments a little bit. They're pretty straightforward, but occasionally it's a little challenging because I do have some options for you. And I think that works really well for online students to be able to have some options and some choices when it comes to the work that they're doing, because I know that many of you have multiple things that you're trying to do and accomplish, and hopefully the flexibility will be helpful to you. The first thing I would say is that the blog postings I use interchangeably with the word journal. So when you hear blog or journal, it's the same thing. They're weekly postings about the material that we will be looking at that week. You will do a blog or a journal post for every piece of material that we have. And they start on week 1. They go through week 8. We take a little break for spring break and the midterm, and then we resume week 11, and they end week 15. So again, that information is all on this assignment sequence. They are worth 10 points each. They are due the Thursday that we go over the material. Pretty straightforward. You'll do that for every piece of material that we're looking at. The more confusing piece is the choice in the microtheme papers. So microtheme papers are really longer explorations of the material in your blog. So your blog or your journal could be a launching ground or a think tank place for you to consider what's your material in greater depth into the microtheme. They're 2 pages, double-spaced, MLA format. You have to do 5 of them during the semester. You get to pick which 5 you want to do. The only caveat or restriction is that 2 must be turned in by week 9, which is spring break. You must have 2 completed. Any that are not turned in after spring break, I will put zeros in. You will not go back and be able to complete those. So 2 have to be turned in prior to the end of spring break. When we get at the end of spring break, I will put zeros in for microthemes 1 and 2. You will not be able to complete those. You would be able to complete 3, 4, and 5 if you wish to. So again, there'll be 3 more due by the end of the semester. They are due Sunday that we go over the material. So for example, if you decide you want to do a microtheme on week's 1 work, which is Theoretical Foundations, your blog or your journal will be due on Thursday by midnight, because that's a requirement. Your microtheme, if you choose to do one, would be due by Sunday. That would be the 26th by midnight. So the microthemes, if you choose to do it, are due the Sunday of the week that we go over the work. That has been a little problematic for people. I'm going to be very firm on that date. If you don't want to do one for that week, you do not have to. Again, remember that you have to do 2 before the end of week 9, right? Which is the end of spring break. And if you want to be a go-getter and move ahead and really get your work done quickly, you could do them the first 5 weeks and not have to do any more microthemes for the rest of the semester. Entirely up to you. I encourage you to work at the pace that's reasonable with the other work that you have to do. But remember that they're due on the Sunday that we have that material that we're looking at by midnight, and there's 5 of them due by the end of the semester. The other 2 assignments within the course are the midterm, which is due on Sunday, March 31st, the end of week 10, and it's worth 150 points. It's a 4 to 5 page paper that analyzes and synthesizes the pedagogy, which is the theory, and informs us about the writing classroom. I'm assuming that you will find possible directions for the paper based upon work within the microthemes. We can talk about that more as we get closer to that date. And then you have a final project, which is 2 parts to it. There's a course design. So I'm looking for a 4-week course design for a classroom. That can include elementary, middle school, high school, college. I'm looking for you to work on that course design. It will also include a pedagogical response. So that's another piece. The pedagogical response will be a explanation of why you chose to design the curriculum that you did. Why did you scaffold it that way? Why did you pick that course design? So that's 2 different pieces. The pedagogical response is a Word document or APA document that has a Works Cited page and explains the course design. The course design can be done in a multitude of ways. I've seen it many ways over the years, all usually fabulous. It can be a PowerPoint, it could be a website, it could be a Word document. There's lots of different ways, but there's actually 2 components to that final project. Hopefully all the materials that I have in the class will inform you on how to build this course design, this 4-week course design, and help you to inform you on how to scaffold that information. That will be due on finals week, which is week 17, Friday, May 17th, and it's due by 5 p.m. You have the week before, the 2 weeks before really, where there's not a lot of information that you will have to be able to start compiling your course design and your pedagogical response. We can talk about that more too as we get closer to that at the end of the semester. There are 1,000 points in the course, which is good. The more points actually, the better. The more opportunity you have. And so in my classes, it's pretty straightforward. 900 and above, well, 900 would be an A minus. 920 would be an A. It kind of works like this. 890 is a B plus, so it's pretty easy to figure out the points. Let's see. I have picked material over the years that I think is super useful. My course design is based a lot about the writing classroom and thinking about how that works and how you make that reasonable for students. Of course, I teach college level, so we're going to look at it from that viewpoint. Doesn't mean that when you get to your course design that you can't work with another grade. In fact, most of the time my students are working with elementary or high school students, and that's wonderful too. Okay, well, it's nice to meet you. I hope you're doing well, and I look forward to spending time with you this semester. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email at kcandelaria@csuchico.edu or come by and see me in my office hours. And I'm looking forward to this semester. Have a great day. I'll talk with you soon.